Why should you join the Livingston County Republican Party?
Why, you ask?
Yeah, why?
Why join?
The Republican Party is the party of common sense.
Common sense.
Republicans support the Constitution.
Republicans protect your rights.
We fight to keep your children safe.
We fight to keep boys and men out of girls' and women's sports.
We fight to keep boys out of girls' restrooms.
We fight for you.
What does the Republican Party do?
We help Republican candidates get elected.
Why is it important to elect Republicans?
Why is that important?
Why?
Tell me, why is that important?
Livingston County is one of the safest counties in Michigan.
Livingston County has one of the lowest crime rates in the state of Michigan.
Livingston County has the lowest tax millage rate of all 83 counties.
Republicans work to balance the budget.
Republican legislators vote against raising your taxes.
Republican elected officials believe in transparency.
Republican clerks run elections with integrity.
Republican trustees protect your rights.
Republicans support our veterans.
Who can join?
If you are conservative, we want you in our party.
All conservatives are welcome at our table.
Join our activities.
Join the fun.
Become a member.
Join us now.
Hi, I'm Deb Drick, Chair of Livingston County Republican Party. Our conservative message has been very well received in Livingston County, and I'm so happy to share with you that people are stepping up right and left to help. The only thing's missing is you. Come join our mission. Come join our fun. Go to livingstonrepublicans.com and click join. You'll be glad you did. Good evening and welcome to the October 7th, even though I think I put the wrong date in the flyer, October 7th podcast on the right side. And we have State Senator and gubernatorial candidate Eric Nesbitt with us. So welcome, Eric, and thanks for joining us here in Livingston County.
Hey, Deb, always good to be in Livingston County. Thank you for all the work you do, all the work the executive committee does, and all the members here in Livingston. Livingston County is a very important Republican county when it comes not just to local elections, but statewide elections, whether it's the U.S. Senate race with Mike Rogers running, whether it's the governor's race with me against Jocelyn Benson, whether it's Tom Barrett. It's going to be so important that I think all the crossroads next year go through Livingston County.
I agree. It is, it's very red, and we negate a lot of the blue stuff around us. We're in a little bit of a sea of blue here, but we fight pretty hard. So, well, anyway, I'm glad you're here, and we're anxious to get to know you. So tell our viewers here that are watching, let's start with your background. Kind of where'd you grow up and, you know, your personal stuff there.
Oh, Deb, thanks for having me on. And as many of you know, it's tough to make it here in Michigan right now. It's tough for small business owners to make it here in Michigan. It's tough for job creators and our workers and families and our kids to make it here in Michigan. And I'm running for governor, so it's easier for folks to make it here in Michigan. I grew up on a small 6th-generation dairy and grape farm in Southwest Michigan, and we learned the values of hard work, faith, family, community. You learn that the job's not done until the job's actually done. It's not just about the time on the clock. As you know, when the haymaking weather's good, it's good. Going to church on Sundays, you learn the values of right and wrong. Just because it rained last night and there's a mud puddle in the field doesn't mean it's a wetland. You should still be able to farm it. And that's where Eric with an A comes from too. I grew up growing up on that farm. I was the middle of 5 kids, all started with A's, and by the time Mom got to me, it was either going to be Eric or Erica with an A, and I'm sure glad she went with Eric. I know I would have grown up a little tougher if it was Erica. But you realize why they had 5 kids. Labor was a lot cheaper, and boy, they worked us. They worked us. And I grew up in a old farmhouse that didn't have air conditioning, and so when you're done baling hay at the end of the day, you slept on the main floor because there's about 15 degrees cooler down there than upstairs in the bedroom. Went on to a school called Hillsdale College. Did my degree in economics there. And those common sense values you learn on the farm. You learn the philosophical reasons of what makes America the greatest place in the world for the next generation. And the reason why we're the greatest country on earth is because of those values of believing in the individual over the state, our Bill of Rights, our Constitution, our individual rights. And married, I have a young family, wife Tricia, and I have 3 young kids, a 6-year-old, Catherine. She's in 1st grade, and then William's 3 years old.
Oh, wow.
He's our Sour Patch Kid. He's a terror at home. And then I dropped him off at daycare the other day, and the teacher goes, "Boy, he's a sweetheart." And I'm like, well, at least he's comfortable at home. And then God bless my wife. We had our 3rd baby 6 months ago, Margot Louise.
Oh, my.
And Margot was born 2 weeks early.
Okay.
But still came out 9 pounds, 14 ounces.
Oh, my goodness.
So
my goodness.
We're blessed with that. But why I'm running for governor is it really starts about 5 years ago when we were expecting our second born. And at the time those COVID lockdowns, we were going to the OB office. It was near the end of the first trimester, and I couldn't go in. I had to stay in the car because of Governor Whitmer's rules. And I get a text message from my wife saying that we'd lost our child to a miscarriage. And I couldn't be sitting there next to her. I couldn't be comforting her. One of the worst things that could happen to a parent by losing a loved one. And I'm sure each of you have a story similar to that. Each of you have a story similar, whether it's a grandfather or great uncle or a kid, where this Governor Whitmer, and the Democrats in Lansing made decisions to control your life and to affect so many families. And that should never happen again. Never happen again. And that's why I'm running for governor, is because I believe that for families to make it here in Michigan, for job creators to make it here in Michigan, for farmers, our law enforcement officers, and our kids to make it here in Michigan, we got to start fresh. We're at a turning point here in Michigan. This is our last hope next year to save our state, just as President Trump's working to save our nation.
Okay. We have Karen. She's one of our frequent flyers here, just expressing her condolences for that tragedy. That how sad that is. And and she's not. I mean, it's not comforting, but she wasn't alone in that. Look at all the seniors that died alone in the nursing homes that were just infected. And weren't having anybody, and so it was a horrible time in our lives, and I hope none of us forget that, because that has to fuel us moving forward.
Well, and this is the point, is that right now, with what Governor Whitmer and the Democrats have done the last few years, on top of that control, they've made it more expensive to live in Michigan with higher taxes.
Yep.
They've made it more expensive. The Democrats have, with higher cost of insurance, the Green New Scam that are increasing the rate of energy costs by $2,400 per family. And so if we're going to have families make it in Michigan, we got to make life more affordable. That means bringing down the cost of government to lower taxes. That means bringing down the cost of insurance. That means bringing down the cost of energy. That means bringing down the cost of housing. And who you elect makes a difference. I was up in Grayling a few weeks ago, and in Grayling I was having a meet and greet, and there was a guy that came up, and he was actually one of the few that has moved from Tennessee to Michigan. I know you don't see that many people out there that's moved from Tennessee to Michigan, but he's added up the cost to live in Michigan compared to Tennessee. And he says you add up the cost of taxes, insurance, energy, just the basic cost of living. It says it's $5,000 more a year just to live, the privilege of living in Michigan.
Wow.
We got to change that. And that's the point of what the next governor needs to do, is to lower the cost of living, lower the cost of government. And we know Jocelyn Benson, the Democrats, will just do the opposite. They'll raise energy costs, ban fossil fuels, they'll increase the cost of government. Jocelyn Benson, she'll make, who's been the worst Secretary of State ever.
Yes.
She'll make the worst governor ever, and she'll make Whitmer look like a moderate.
Oh.
This is how bad it is. This is the point we're at next year, is that are we going to go to the far left, or are we going to rebalance with conservative Republican reforms that actually work to lower the cost of living?
Yes, we got a question here from Go Irish. I don't know who Go Irish is, so you're going to have to help me out here. Thoughts on current AG and her COVID and political prosecutions? What can Republicans do to end it?
Well, first off, we can nominate an attorney general that can win next year, because this current attorney general is the worst attorney general ever. We see this. The political persecutions that happen, the fact that she ignores the law when she wants to, the fact that she pays back her political cronies and her friends. And you see this time after time. And so this, I'm sure a lot of people are watching, a lot of people that are involved with the party here are going to be going to the state convention next year. And they're going to have the opportunity to vote on a Secretary of State and Attorney General. What I ask is that we find somebody that can build a campaign that is the right candidate with the right message and be able to raise enough resources to be able to win next year. Because it's all on the stake. It's open. Governor seat's open, Secretary of State's, Attorney General. And you see that. Last year, we have a Secretary of State that allowed a Chinese national to vote just down the road here.
I know.
And she didn't catch it. He turned himself in.
No.
And fortunately, we have an opportunity next year. We have an opportunity next year to do something about it. One, make sure we have the best Attorney General and Secretary of State candidate that comes out of the convention that can win. Two is going ahead and getting on the ballot citizens only voting.
Yes.
This is what's happening now, is making sure that we clean up our voter rolls, photo ID to vote, and making sure only citizens vote. And then three, making sure Jocelyn Benson gets nowhere close to the governor's office. That's what we can do next year. And we've seen it. Last year, President Trump won the state. We won back the state house. We only have one of the three legs of the stool right now in Lansing. We've stopped a lot of the destruction, but believe me, the Democrats are not stopping. They're spending this next year and a half, this governor, this Secretary of State, this Attorney General, continuing to drive our state off the ledge in a command and control style politics that makes it tougher and tougher to raise a family in Michigan. It's making it tougher for job creators to do business in Michigan, and it's making tougher for our kids to actually learn in Michigan.
Agreed. You know, I've been involved for a really long time, for 1,100 years in politics. And I know you have a long time too. Have you ever seen the Democrats so unorganized, such terrible rhetoric, so crazed about in their delivery, and it is an opportunity for Republicans, as long as we don't do anything stupid, it's an opportunity for Republicans to then take control of all that stuff. Thoughts?
I'm not going to depend on the Democrats doing stupid things.
No.
What I'm going to depend on are hardworking Republicans and independents, and maybe, and we're doing the work that's needed next year to win it all back. Because this is our opportunity, to be able to have families make it here in Michigan, to have our kids make it here in Michigan. Just look at, right now, the cost of government. And the silent killer is the bureaucracy, the red tape that's out there, right?
Right.
And when you have a business owner in Wayne County that's trying to build a new restaurant, and they can't get a permit from Lansing because they said there's a mud puddle in the backyard and they call it a wetlands. They never issue a permit. $5 million investment gone. When there's a manufacturer on the west side of the state that's builds boats, and so they have a dock on a lake, and they're trying to replace that dock, and they're 5 years in and $1.5 million of legal and engineering costs, and they still haven't been able to replace that dock. 700 employees.
Wow.
And then we have a governor that has spent nearly $5 billion on corporate welfare for her business buddies. And I have a perfect record on corporate welfare over my time in the legislature. You have a governor that's went ahead and has worked to send your hard-earned taxpayer dollars to companies affiliated with the Chinese Communist Party. That's wrong. It needs to stop. Just the way President Trump has ended USAID, federal level. We have our own version called the Michigan Economic Development Corporation.
Yes.
And these guys continue to sell us down the stream, and it needs to stop. And we need to rebuild and go back to basics so that families and workers and job creators can make it here in Michigan. Lower the cost of living, lower the cost of government, lower the cost of taxes, lower the cost of energy. And then our kids aren't able to make it in Michigan right now.
No.
3 out of 4 fourth graders can't read a grade level. The average kid in our schools are 3/4 of a grade level behind just because of the COVID lockdowns. This is on the Democrats. This is on the Democrat majorities in the House and the Senate and Governor Whitmer. And we spend more than most states our income levels on education, and we're getting worse and worse results. We're a bottom 10 state in educational outcomes.
I know. That's horrible.
We got to get back to basics. Every third grader by the end of third grade should be able to read at grade level. Every kid in high school should be either career ready or college ready. Instead, you have folks that are being prevented from going into career and technical education or work co-op. I was talking to parents of a sixth grader a few weeks ago, 12-year-old kid. And they said their kid refused to use the they them pronoun to another boy in sixth grade and was sent down to the principal's office. Fortunately, that kid, smart, and goes, well, President Trump says that we don't do that anymore. And fortunately, the principal is a little bit more understanding. But this is where the wokeness in our schools are at right now. It needs to end. It needs to stop. But a lot more important is meaning that we have to get back to basics, the phonics of reading, the science of reading, making sure that every third grader is able to read at grade level. Mississippi can do it. They moved from 49th in reading scores to a top 20 state.
Wow.
Because they got back to basics.
Wow. Good for them. All right. So, how did you get into politics in the first place? How'd you go from the farm to the house? Or was there a local shot first?
Yeah, no, there was something that we've done this before. We've seen Democrats take our state into a one-state depression during the Great Recession. Double-digit unemployment rate.
Okay.
So back at the end of the lost decade.
Okay.
You remember 2009, 2010,
Oh, yes.
15% unemployment rate. We were 50th where we should have been first where we should have been 50th. Worst business tax in the nation, $2 billion deficit, $80 billion of long-term liabilities and debt. And I decided to run for the State House. And working with Governor Snyder, with Republicans in the House and Senate, what do? We went back to basics. We paid down billions of debt. We became a right-to-work state. We eliminated 2,200 rules and regulations. So before Elon Musk and Doge on the spending level, we did it on regulations 15 years ago.
Yep.
Done it before, can do it again. We got it, and that's why I'm running for governor, is saying that we can go back to basics and saying what permits are needed. If they are, issue them, give them a timeline. If they're not needed, scrap them, abolish them. Same with licensing, and same with spending, line by line by line. And I know, Ann Bolin, who's a local state rep here in Livingston, chair of APROPS, and she can tell you all about, again, they made some good battles on eliminating waste, fraud, and abuse, but believe me, with still having two legs of the Democratic stool, Democrat governor, Democrat Senate, they're still trying to defend all this waste, fraud, and abuse that's in Lansing. And this is why next year is so important.
I remember I went to work, I was working in the Senate I was the chief of staff for then Senator Mark Jansen. And when Governor Snyder took over, I worked for him through from Granholm. But what a comeback that was.
Yep.
That was amazing, and it was everything that was down went up, everything that up, the bad stuff that was up went back down, and it was just a wonderful thing. So we don't have any choice. We have to take the Senate, we have to keep the House, and we have to take the governor, we have to take Attorney General, and we have to take Secretary of State. I cannot imagine how bad it would be if we stayed with Democrats. What would happen to this state?
So if we do nothing, if we just keep the status quo the way it is, it's going to be tougher and tougher for job creators to make it in Michigan. It's going to be tougher for families to make it here. And it's going to be tougher for kids to make it here. And so if we do nothing over the next 30 years, we could lose upwards of 700,000 people in Michigan.
Sure.
We already have these hollowed out cities, Detroit, Saginaw, Pontiac. You're going to have more hollowed out areas. Our kids and our next generation is going to be dumber. And when I was growing up, our number one export here in Michigan was cars. Right now, I'm afraid it's young people again. That needs to end.
Right.
Because there's better opportunities in other states. Look at Indiana. The last 25 years, Indiana's grown by nearly 900,000 people. It's easier to make it in Indiana.
Right.
How do you make it easier to make it here in Michigan? Lower the cost of energy, lower the cost of insurance, lower the cost of government, pay down our long-term debt, lower the regulations, make it efficient, effective government. We've done it before. We can do it again.
Well, and I'm so looking forward to that. I think we're all ready for it. In Livingston County, we have a huge issue, and that is the renewable energy bill that came through from Lansing.
Yeah.
And we have solar farms all popping up all over the place, or at least attempting to. So we're of course fighting them, but it's getting harder and harder. What are measures that could be taken if when you're elected? What will you do as far as giving local control back to the communities?
Well, first off, having all this dependency on wind and solar, phasing out and abolishing fossil fuels, it's just going to make it tougher and tougher to make it here in Michigan.
Sure.
And if we're going to make it easier for our farmers to make it here, stop industrializing their farmland. Stop it.
Oh, they're wanting to sell
because of the mandate.
Yes, and
because
it's terrible.
it's not their fault. It's because of the mandate.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so what we can do is do away with the mandate, stop the ban on fossil fuels, get back to an energy plan that works, rebuild the Line 5 pipeline with the Great Lakes Tunnel, make sure we're abundant with energy, just like President Trump's doing, to make us energy dominant. We need to be energy abundant here in Michigan. And that's how you lower the cost of energy. That's how you make it more reliable. And that's how you stop this craziness of developing and industrializing hundreds of thousands of acres of open farm and forest land around our state.
We just have township after township up in arms here because, they're looking to buy, and of course we don't want to rezone them, but that right has been removed.
So right now, the court system, until we can win back the House, Senate, and the governorship, you got to use the court system to be able to delay. And that's how you're going to be able to save some time until the infantry comes in to make it easier for families and workers and job creators to make it here in Michigan.
Yes, anybody out there that's in any one of those independents watching right now that are unsure which way you're going to go, understand solar farm. If they're Democrats, they're going to get solar. You're going to get those solar farms. Republicans are the only ones that are going to undo that. So remember that when you go vote. You are the current Republican leader in the Senate. So will you lead differently from the governor's, from the executive office, and if so, how?
Well, the legislative and the executive are two different branches.
Sure.
If you're going to drive home ways to make it easier to make it in Michigan, that means you got to lower the cost of government. And you saw this just earlier this year when the State House subpoenaed Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson, and she denied it and refused that subpoena.
Yes.
And so they're going to court. You have to have a governor. And this is why I'm running for governor, is that somebody that spends their time to take the lead, to do a full review of the regulatory environment here in the state, go back to customer service with our citizens, to the taxpayers, and to drive out waste, fraud, and abuse. And there's so much. I mean, just talk to Representative Boland. There's so much that's out there in the government that in the legislative side, it's hard to get a handle on it. You have to have a governor that's willing to spend every day, appoint directors, deputy directors, and chief of staffs that are willing to drive that, be those change agents to create efficient, effective government, wipe out bad regulations that are preventing growing and expanding our government.
Okay, got a question here. Correction. So we'll put your correction in. Does the governor have a co-equal power like the U.S. president called executive order? If so, well, it's supposed to be 3. What 3 issues will you solve with a state order? Good question.
Yeah. So the governor gets appointments, they get executive orders, they get other things. Day one. What President Trump signed into law earlier this year in the Republican legislature, including Congressman Barrett voted on, was to allow governors to opt into school choice.
Okay.
And this would be universal school choice that the governor would have authority to do.
Oh, nice.
Day one.
Okay.
Do that. Number 2, every state worker needs to come back to the office. I figure only 20% of state workers can come back to the office. Number 3, repeal all of this Green New Scam language that Governor Whitmer's done by executive action and executive orders in the departments. This is, you remember earlier this year where the DNR was going to industrialize 400 acres, 500 acres of forest land up near Gaylord. That was from her executive order saying every department has to look at ways to industrialize and put solar arrays in all these different places. And then I'd say on top of that, I guess if I can go to a 4th one.
Go right ahead.
Yeah, is really work with President Trump in making sure that his orders are actually being implemented here in Michigan.
Oh.
And those are things such as preventing, letting boys be boys and girls be girls, letting, actually undoing some of the stuff that we've seen in women's
Who'd have
sports
thought that would
and
ever
other
be a
things.
thing?
Well, 10 years ago, it wasn't.
Heck
It
no.
wasn't.
If somebody would, I was talking here last week to somebody, and it was like, I feel like the proverbial boiled frog. You boil a frog, you stick them in cold water, and you turn them on low heat, and it takes forever, and it's so gradual that by the time the frog realizes he's being boiled, it's too late. I feel like we're boiled frogs. I never saw that coming.
I mean, and that's the thing, is we want to make it easier for families and small business owners and workers and our kids to make it here in Michigan. We don't want it easier for criminal illegal aliens or felons to make it here in Michigan.
Right.
And unfortunately, you've seen a wider and wider divide between law and order on the Republican side, and there's no belief in evil on the Democrat side. And you believe in the individual on the Republican side. You believe that, and we believe our rights come from God. I mean, that's what taught. That's our founding. And unfortunately, on the Democrat side, they believe our rights come from government. And you saw that with COVID.
Yes. We got another from Go Irish. A lot of candidates are talking about eliminating income tax, property tax, and a whole bunch of other taxes. We all want low taxes, but what's your approach to solve the excessive taxation, but still pay for the things that we need?
Yeah, so that's part of the whole role of what I've been driving in terms of efficiency and effectiveness. First off is you don't increase taxes. Second off, you prioritize in the regulatory side, on the spending side, and you find those savings that you need to have to lower taxes. I mean, heck, the Democrats and Governor Whitmer a few years ago did everything possible to stop an $800 million income tax rollback. Got it for 1 year, and then they raised taxes by $800 million. Long term, we got to turn the state red. If we want to eliminate income taxes, we got to turn the state red. Otherwise, you're just going to have this yo-yo going back and forth.
Right.
And so you have to put leaders that are willing to build up the political infrastructure and be able to push that change that is needed. Drive that efficiency, drive that effectiveness, drive out waste, fraud, and abuse in government, prioritize spending, lower our cost of living, lower our cost of government. And I think the biggest thing, as I said earlier, was just the cost of living here in Michigan. And that's a lot driven by the cost of government and the regulatory burden that's out there.
Yes. Okay, so let's suppose for a minute that all the gubernatorial candidates are equal, absolutely equal in support. What trait, skill, experience, or ability do you have that'll push you over the edge?
Yeah. Working class background, Hillsdale College education, somebody that continues to fight Governor Whitmer and the Democrats in Lansing and haven't given up on that. And somebody who knows what they're going to do on day 1, day 90, year 3, year 7, to be able to drive out waste, fraud, and abuse, make government more efficient and effective, making sure that that state employees, the bureaucrats, are actually working for the taxpayers instead of others. And I have that set of experience. And I also, the only one that's really from rural Michigan and that understands the importance of our rural counties and our importance of the rural way of life. And I think it's under attack right now.
You're
and you saw that earlier with the Green New scam of what the Democrats did. One Democrat, if there was one brave Democrat that would have voted no, we wouldn't have this industrialization of our farm and forest land right now.
Brave Democrat is kind of an oxymoron. I think it really is. So
go along to get along.
Yeah. So why will you, when you're the nominee, why will you beat Mike Duggan?
One is that both Duggan and Jocelyn Benson are Wayne County machine politicians.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
And I think it goes back as who's able to have a background on especially on these business subsidies and corporate welfare. They both have a track record of supporting these. They may talk otherwise, but there's just a world of difference. And I'm somebody that nobody can outwork a farm boy. That's one thing. Number 2 is that we're going to take the fight to them every day. We're going to make sure that we show that sharp contrast that if you're going to make it easier for working families to make it here in Michigan, we're going to lower the cost of government, not increase the cost of government that both Duggan and Jocelyn wants to do. We're going to lower the cost of insurance, unlike what the Democrats and Jocelyn wants to do. We're going to work to actually lower everybody's taxes instead of just some people's taxes. We're going to work to actually lower the cost of energy, become a right to work state again. These are things that people know that if they're going to allow the next generation to actually make it here in Michigan and have our kids make it here in Michigan, that we have to lower the cost of government, lower the cost of living, and get back to basics in education. And on the education piece, I mean, just look at the Detroit school system.
Oh, I know.
And this is somebody who, even the last semblance of school choice, wanted to shut down anything on school choice. He won't be signing an executive order saying that all students in Michigan should be able to.
No, he won't, never. And I've seen the billboards. He's now in a huge billboard campaign, world's most effective mayor or whatever it's called, nation's most effective mayor. I don't know. But, I was heavily involved with all the, our office and at the time, the governor's initiative man, Bill Rustem, our office worked weekly. We met, or every other week we met with Bill Rustem's office. Senator Jansen and I would meet with him, and we kind of helped do the initiatives in Detroit. And it was not Mayor Duggan who did all those things. It was the governor, and it was the governor that, you know, pushed through the emergency financial manager, and it was the emergency financial manager that tore everything apart, and you know, it was Governor Snyder that worked the grand bargain, and it was Governor Snyder that put in the authorities and took away the power from the city. So, you know, how does that message get out? Because everywhere else besides Detroit, everybody else besides Wayne County, we might know that it was not him. But in the city, I mean, you got to take some of those Wayne County independent votes. You're going to get the Republican ones, but how do you grab some of those independent votes out of, what's that strategy there? What's that look like?
First off, you're going to have 2 Democrats running from Wayne County. And this is why the Democrats are so upset with Mayor Duggan running. And so I'm going to leave a lot of that up to political prognosticators and how that comes about. Our mission is we work across the state. I've hit 80 of the 83 counties far. So we've been working hard.
Where do you got left?
With there's actually 3 that are within about an hour from my home. So we've hit a lot of the far reaches of the state, and we're continuing to build there. And we're offering the plan across the state on how do you make it easier for small business owners, families, our kids, our workers to make it here in Michigan. And that positive vision, people know that you have one side that wants to do command and control, make it tougher to families, business Michigan. As much as they may talk about different issues, they're going to increase the cost of government. They're going to increase the cost of electricity. Right. They're going to side with the bureaucracy and the unions to make government less efficient, less effective. And it's going to be more of the same from the Michigan Economic Development Corporation. I think we got to get back to basics.
That's like DHHS for business. The MEDC, it's just welfare for them, and you know what's bad about them? I guess I wouldn't have a problem with MEDC if it was really helping launch and there was accountability there, and you know they tracked what they did, and there was, you know, but they don't. It's a bleed.
So first thing, you gotta just abolish it.
Yes, goodbye.
Second thing, create a one-stop shop on regulations, on licensing, on trying to create a turnkey. So when businesses want to invest and grow here in Michigan, you allow them to invest and grow here in Michigan. And you make it quick and you make it easy. And this is the whole point, is that the $5 billion that Governor Whitmer and the Democrats have spent over the last 6 years on corporate welfare, you could have fixed every local critical condition in the state 3 times over.
Okay.
3 times over.
Wow. That's crazy. And then she wants to raise taxes to fix the roads. It's just, that's crazy. And you're right.
That's their go-to. I mean, they blasted through a $9 billion surplus 2 years ago. They increased the state's income tax, you know, last year on all working families, and that just makes it tougher and tougher for families to make it here. And if we don't just shake things up in Lansing, but actually in the status quo, we're going to become a poorer state, a less educated state, and one with a lot less opportunities for our kids.
That is, no, I agree. And, you know, I think we've been through the Granholm years, that what Governor Snyder accurately coined the lost decade, and it was awful. Those years were awful. And then when, you know, Whitmer's made them just as bad, if not worse. So we can't lose again. We're gonna go to a commercial real quick, and we will be right back. We'll be right back. Welcome to The Right Side.
And with me now is the brand new 7th District Chair, District 3, Livingston County Commissioner, Frank Sample. So welcome, Frank.
You're very active in the American Legion.
Correct.
You're very active in the VFW.
This ideology is very damaging to the students who are told, if you get this surgery,
and make do the social transition, the medical transition, then you'll be happy and all your problems will be
Yes,
solved. Learned so much.
I'll bet. That's some institutional knowledge right there.
And we have, as a special guest, as I said earlier, we have Kevin Rankin with us. Welcome, Kevin. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Go Bode. Thanks, Kelly. There are those everywhere. We have, but we love meeting new people.
Right, yes.
It's in good shape, so that's good news.
That safeness is not afforded to every citizen. They are special.
There's a difference between men and women. There's a biological difference, and it's time for us to stand up for our girls.
He went through, and he came back with a report said there's no way Detroit can meet its obligations on the tax base.
Yes.
So is this DEI focused just on the high school, or are they talking about all
district, the entire district?
Maybe that's kind of normal. It's really not. There tends to be little fiefdoms with, different police agencies and police versus fire and fire versus EMS and blah, blah, blah. That's not the case here. So Livingston County is very fortunate.
Hey, not too long ago, in many of our lifetimes, Detroit was the third largest city in America.
Oh, yeah.
3.2 million citizens.
It's been a great experience. I mean, I have no regrets about moving here.
There's an old saying that the road will get you elected, the jail will get you unelected. So, to give you an idea.
You have to have a reason to change for change to be enacted.
John Adams warned that the Constitution is wholly inadequate without a moral and religious people. As conservatives, we must reclaim the faith that shaped it, rooted in Jesus Christ and the Bible. To help you understand the historic Christianity that our country was founded on, check out theexaltedchrist.com, a resource website proclaiming Christ as King.
Bunny's Fabulous Seasoning is a fantastic new blend of herbs and vegetables made in Livingston County. Add a tablespoon to homemade breads, soups, stews, meat, poultry, vegetables, casseroles, sauces, and more. To order, email Bunny's Fabulous Seasoning at gmail.com or message the Bunny's Fabulous Seasoning Facebook page. It's time to divorce your Marry Me Chicken and take advantage of free delivery in and around Livingston County. Bunny's Fabulous Seasoning, the only seasoning you need.
And we're back. Thanks for hanging on here. Let's look at some of these comments that we've been coming in. We have Joni, who was on our executive committee. Hi, Joni. She said she was talking about the Benson, and it was a huge failure of the Chinese national on the Secretary of State to prove citizens only vote is absolutely necessary. We agree. So
It's going to be up to us next year.
Yes, I agree.
We've got to get it on the ballot. If you haven't signed the petition, sign it. Citizens only vote.
We've got them here.
That.
Yeah, we've got them here.
Come on down. And if you have some time, get 10 of your friends to sign it.
Yeah.
And that'll do a lot. Get it on the ballot next year. Put it on the Constitution. The challenge the last few cycles is that these outside forces of Eric Holder and others really corrupted parts of our Constitution. And so let's change it back. Let's start winning again.
Okay. All right. Then we have Karen, where'd she go? Here she is. She's talking about when I boiled the frog, when I was talking about boiling frogs. Yes, we did see these things, and they were called crazy. We never thought.
Yeah.
Patty wants you to keep fighting for our city and country. So thanks. And
we'll do that for you.
Yes, yeah. Just for you, Patty. Every single thing involved in running a household in Michigan has skyrocketed under the Whitmer administration. Horrible for the middle class.
Yeah, and this is part of it. This is part of the challenge. Is President Trump's bringing back Made in the USA?
Mm-hmm.
We got to get back to making it here in
Michigan, yes.
And without lowering the cost of energy to make it easier for families to make it here in Michigan and job creators to make it here in Michigan, we're not going to be able to do that. Without lowering the cost of government, make it easier, more effective and efficient government, it's going to be tougher for job creators to invest and grow businesses here in Michigan. And without accountability and reform and education and choice, it's going to be tougher for our kids to make it here in Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to visit my kids when they grow up out of state. I want to be able to make sure they have those opportunities here.
That's important. That's very important. I know I have my youngest son did 20 years in the military, and he retired a couple of years ago here, and I've got 5 grandkids down there that, I have to jump through a whole bunch of hoops just to see. So I would have loved for him to, had something here. So I get it. That's tough. That is very tough. So what else do we need to know about you? Tell us something that you don't normally say on a podcast.
I guess growing up on that family farm, beyond just the values, just couldn't imagine growing up anywhere else. And this is something where, 30, 40 years ago, you just had those basic values. It was something where you could live a good, open life. It was a lot less expensive to live here in Michigan. You knew the values of right and wrong, and we had a lot of fun. And my dad was a Vietnam veteran. Served 3 tours in Vietnam. Didn't expect himself to farm until he did the 3 tours, and that's all he did. And he taught me a lot of those values. I never heard him swear. He had long hair, big beard. In the summertime, he'd never wear a shirt, and believe me, baling hay, that's a tough man there.
Yeah.
We had 60 head of dairy.
Okay. So I was going to ask you what on your farm. So dairy and hay, apparently.
And grapes. We had Concord grapes. We had Red Welch's. And right now, if you go through our town, you have that smell of Concord grapes right now, and it's just such a wonderful smell. That sweet juice. Harvest should start in the next 2 days.
Okay.
8 tomorrow or
Does your family still farm?
Yep, we have about 40 acres of grapes and a couple hundred acres of row crops. And my dad passed away 5.5 years ago from Agent Orange presumption. Vietnam came back and kissed him and it was a rare aggressive cancer, and we kept the dairy going for a few years, and about 2.5 years ago, my sister and the family decided a small dairy. It's just tough to make it here in Michigan right now with dairies, and we've went from, I think 25 years ago there was 3,000 dairies to now 800.
Oh my.
Yeah. And so if you're not going big, it's really hard to accept all the regulations, all the requirements, all the mandates that we have here in Michigan. So that's that's where my roots are. Grew up hunting, grew up fishing, target shooting, and we just love that time back on the farm, and I still love making my way back there. With my 2 kids, it's always fun to take them out combining or take them out on a grape picker. We were brush chopping a few weeks ago on a Sunday afternoon, and I did get William, who's our 3-year-old, his first hat happened to be a Lions hat.
Oh.
So maybe, I'm hoping that there shouldn't be a disappointment this year. This is the year of the Super Bowl. So trying to grow them up, growing up right. So.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I super appreciate your visit to Livingston County. Now we always offer, within the next few months, you want to come back, and we're going to hold a meet and greet here for you. So everybody that watched you tonight, and will watch our numbers spike big on the way to work tomorrow and on the way home, to where a lot of people watch it on the way to work, the rerun. But anybody that's watching it tonight or is going to be watching it in the next few days or weeks, it'll give them a chance to come here and meet you in person. So I'll be reaching out to your office, to Jody, to schedule that, and you guys can give us a good date for yourselves.
Deb, thank you for all you do. Thanks for the work you guys continue to do in Livingston. It's so important that Tom Barrett and you guys turn out folks here in Livingston, because if Tom Barrett doesn't win re-election next year, I know they're going to impeach Trump every other week.
Yep.
We can't let that happen.
Agreed.
The House majority starts here in Livingston. The U.S. Senate majority starts here in Michigan, and winning back the governorship starts right here in Livingston. And so I appreciate the opportunity here, because this is our chance next year.
Agreed. This is it. And we have to stay together. We have to unite, and I hate that word because it has no meaning anymore. We just have to work together and just all move that needle, just continue to move the needle to the right, and get it done. I know I had the Chairman Runstead here, and I know you speak to him too on the floor, but he told us that he was informed very, very clearly and directly at his national chair meetings, the state chairs all to get together. And he said that Michigan is like the #1 target in the country, that the money is going to be flowing into Michigan to the Democrats. So we have to be very, very careful. We cannot blow this. We have to make it work. We have to turn out every dollar and every vote and every door knocking that we possibly can. So get ready, pay attention to your candidates, research your candidates, and get ready to spend next year working, because it's gonna take all of us to get it done. Last year, our particular party set the goal at 80% turnout, and we got, I think, 79.8% or something. So we fell 0.02 short. 02. And here's speaking of Tom Barrett, here comes RNC in here who's helping Tom. Hi Parker, how are you doing? So so we're going to be bringing it again next year. I know they're coming after Tom, and we're just going to form a big red barrier. We're going to, the blue wall. We're going to be the red wall.
And you see it with President Trump coming here last year. JD Vance just came here a few weeks ago. This is ground zero, guys. Got to turn it out. Got to start building. And so I thank the Livingston County Republican Party for being that hub, and we can win next year if we stand up and get our neighbors to come out and vote and get others to come out and vote, because I don't think it's acceptable that we have a good president like President Trump that's shaking up Washington, D.C., and if he loses the U.S. House, and I'm sure he'd rather have a partner like me.
I suspect he would.
Let's end the Biden Whitmer administration, make it the Trump Nesbitt administration.
Right. There we go. All right. Well, thanks for coming, and we'll be right back. We got some more stuff coming on tonight. We have Michelle Blondeel here to talk about our awesome event next week. So stay put.
Why should you join the Livingston County Republican Party?
Why, you ask?
Yeah, why?
Why join?
The Republican Party is the party of common sense.
Common sense.
Republicans support the Constitution.
Republicans protect your rights.
We fight to keep your children safe.
We fight to keep boys and men out of girls and women's sports.
We fight to keep boys out of girls' restrooms.
We fight for you.
What does the Republican Party do?
We help Republican candidates get elected.
Why is it important to elect Republicans?
Why is that important?
Why?
Tell me, why is that important?
Livingston County is one of the safest counties in Michigan.
Livingston County has one of the lowest crime rates in the state of Michigan.
Livingston County has the lowest tax millage rate of all 83 counties.
Republicans work to balance the budget.
Republican legislators vote against raising your taxes.
Republican elected officials believe in transparency.
Republican clerks run elections with integrity.
Republican trustees protect your rights.
Republicans support our veterans.
Who can join?
If you are conservative, we want you in our party.
All conservatives are welcome at our table.
Join our activities.
Join the fun.
Become a member.
Join us now.
Hi, I'm Deb Drick, chair of Livingston County Republican Party. Our conservative message has been very well received in Livingston County, and I'm so happy to share with you that people are stepping up right and left to help. The only thing's missing is you. Come join our mission. Come join our fun. Go to livingstonrepublicans.com and click join. You'll be glad you did.
The Exalted Christ Ministry offers resources to help you understand historic Christianity. Visit theexaltedchrist.com for articles, podcasts, and a video series exploring Scripture and key historical topics. Get free resources today at www.theexaltedchrist.com.
Welcome to the right side.
And with me now is the brand new 7th District Chair, District 3, Livingston County Commissioner, Frank Sample. So welcome, Frank.
You're very active in the American Legion.
Correct.
You're very active in the VFW.
This ideology is very damaging to the students who are told if you get this surgery and make do the social transition, the medical transition, then you'll be happy and all your problems will be
Yes,
solved. Learned so much.
I'll bet. That's some institutional knowledge right there.
And we have, as a special guest, as I said earlier, we have Kevin Rinke with us. Welcome, Kevin. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Go Bode. Thanks, Kelly. There are no shortage of them. We love meeting new people.
Right, yes.
It's in good shape, so that's good news.
That safeness is not afforded to every citizen. They are special.
There's a difference between men and women. There's a biological difference, and it's time for us to stand up for our girls.
He went through, and he came back with a report said there's no way Detroit can meet its obligations on the tax base.
Yes.
So is this DEI focused just on the high school, or are they talking about all
district, the entire district?
Maybe that's kind of normal. It's really not. There tends to be little fiefdoms with, different police agencies and police versus fire and fire versus EMS and blah, blah, blah. That's not the case here. So Livingston County is very fortunate.
Hey, not too long ago, in many of our lifetimes, Detroit was the 3rd largest city in America.
Oh, yeah.
3.
And we are back, and this time I have from our executive committee, Michelle Blondil. Welcome, Michelle. Thanks for coming up here.
Thanks, Deb.
We've had Michelle and I have gotten to know each other trial by fire in the last couple of months because Michelle has agreed to take on the wonderful Reagan Day event that we've got coming. So I brought her on here to tell everybody about it. I know that true to Republican nature, the ticket sales are like clicking now because everybody's waited to the last minute to buy. So we still have tickets. So if you still want to come, please get on Tyler www.livingstonrepublicans.com. And you can go there and click on the Reagan Day and you can buy a ticket if you still want to. I'm so happy. One of the things we did was we put out there that anybody that wanted to sponsor a young Republican or a veteran or first-time voter could, and that we'd have some that would want to come. Holy cow, we really got a nice response from that. So and matter of fact, I got 2 more youths that came in today. So I know. So
Great.
we're gonna have a healthy amount of young Republicans / Turning Point kids. We're gonna have some veterans there that are gonna enjoy those sponsorships. And I think we have a couple of first-time voter and his mom maybe coming. So yeah, that's going to be a great thing. So right here's where you get tickets, livingstonrepublicans.com, and you can find the Reagan Day dinner. But I'm going to, before you, I know that you're sitting there on the edge of your seat ready to go, but first listen to Michelle tell you about what that night's going to look like.
So I'm really excited because I feel like this is going to be an opportunity for people that don't normally get together and have a lot of fun. And it's going to be very interactive, which is new for us because I think usually we go and sit and have dinner and have speakers, and it's nice. It's a nice time, but this is going to be a little more energy. And it's going to be, we have a square dance caller. So he's going to be there. His name's Caller Paul. And he said he's going to take it easy on everybody and just do a lot of basic stuff. I know we're going to have some really great food.
Yeah.
And,
we
just
have a pig roast. We're roasting a pig.
Yeah,
we're
roasting a pig and all the fixins. And we have a large charcuterie board. We're calling kind of a grazing board. So I think everyone will really appreciate that. And wine and beer and pop and all the water you need.
Yep, the wine, beer, and pop are all included in your ticket. So.
Yeah. And I think it's a really good opportunity to get with people that are like-minded, because it's really important to understand that, because sometimes it gets a little, scary things that are going on, and, people are like talking about things and just going and having fun with people that are like-minded and want the same thing, in our country, and supporting the Republican Party, I think, is really the biggest deal.
Mhm.
And that's the biggest reason I did this, because the Republican Party, it's good quality people that are looking to help good quality people get into office. And to do that, we need to raise money. So this is a fundraiser. And, so look at it that way, is that you're supporting good people like, Eric Nesbitt, who was just in here, and I feel
Like
that
Tom Barrett,
Tom
like Brian
Barrett, yeah,
Ignatowski,
Brian,
like,
yep,
yeah,
and all the
so, yep.
candidates. And this is an opportunity for you to do that, because there's a lot of times there's a small group of people that do the door knocking, that go out and do the things that maybe you can't do, but you can support this way. That's why this, it's important for people to show up and just to have fun with us and show us that you support us when we're working hard.
That's very well said, Michelle. And if those of you just heard Eric Nesbitt go through a laundry list of problems in Michigan and why it's important to elect Republicans, because I know anybody out there watching that does not want any of those solar farms, you better get it elected. I know you better get it. You have to help us get Republicans elected. So, the easiest way is to become a member. And for that, you would just go to the same place, except you put the little slash there and write join, that same address. Become a member. Come to this event and or just plain donate some money when you can. But that's huge. I mean, that money pays for our mailings. We send out postcards and letters and we put flyers in people's doors that tell people what we're going to do once we're elected. So this is too crucial of a election, as you just heard. To take a chance that we're not going to do it. So we appreciate your support. Come to this dinner.
Come to the dinner. Have fun.
In addition to those things, now, every Wednesday for the last couple of months, I hoof it on. You should see me. I spend my Wednesday afternoon going through YouTube, trying to find easy line dances. I learn a couple myself. Then I go down to the American Legion, and we have some Republican women and some veterans that come up there and learn the line dances with us. So they'll be there. We're going to be doing line dances. We'll also have several statewide candidates there. Well, I know we have three Secretary of State, 2 Attorney General. I don't know. I know we have at least 1 gubernatorial candidate coming. And the invites are out. I'm just, they're all calling me at the last minute. I had another candidate call me this afternoon and say, ask me a bunch of questions about it. So, depends on who's going to be there, but they're all going to get a chance to speak. We're going to have Brian Ignatowski speaking. His race is vital for us to win next year.
And it gives you a good opportunity to get to know them as
That's
well.
right.
You can ask them questions. They're right in
That's
front
right.
of you. You don't have to wait. You don't
They
have
will
to
be
email.
networking all night. They'll be walking around. They'll be grazing on the charcuterie board
Right,
and right there
exactly.
alongside you. And that's a good time to strike up a conversation. So we have Curtis Clark here. Did Eric Nesbitt deny election fraud in the 2020 election? Curtis, where were you? You should have asked that question when he was here. I don't remember. I don't think he did.
I actually have a story about that, which is why I support him.
Okay.
And I was on a conference call early on when I felt something was wrong in the election, and I had gotten on a conference call because Alyssa Slotkin was my representative at the time, and she called a conference call. So I called in, and Eric Nesbitt was on with a couple other senators, and they were having a group conversation. And I remember writing his name down because he was the only one that challenged the other senators and asked them, why do you think this wasn't stolen, right? Like he was questioning it, and he was the only one, and that's why I wrote his name down, and that's why I support him.
So the answer, Curtis, is probably a big no, he did not deny. So I would have said I don't think so, because I remember the list that that said they didn't have proof of it, but I didn't see his name on it. So I would say no, he did not. Or I know it's like it's a negative.
Did he or didn't
he did not deny. So
no, he felt that there was an issue.
Yeah.
That's how he answered that. Yes, he did.
So anyway, yes, but we're gonna have we have some statewide speakers. We have a small a short
You're welcome, Curtis. We have a short tribute to Charlie Kirk. We did a big tribute over at the courthouse lawn. We've talked about that on here, but there were a lot of people that weren't able to make it, so we're going to do a very short one. Those who came to the vigil, if you came to the vigil, you saw Anne-Marie Yarber speak, and I'm happy to say Anne-Marie Yarber will be again speaking at our event. So she's one of the Turning Point youth. I hate to say kids, but you're a kid to me, so
whatever.
You're Turning Point youths like what's that show, Vinny? My cousin Vinny, use the kids will be there, and Anne-Marie will be speaking. She'll be asked to speak for a couple minutes about her experience with Charlie Kirk. So, and we have a couple little tributes and a little moment of prayer there. So, and then we'll be doing, like I said, we'll have some statewide candidates speaking to you. We'll have line dancing, and then we have that square dancing. And I want to assure everybody who's afraid of that square dancing, we picked a guy that we could say, we are beginners.
Yeah.
We are not square dancers. So do not expect, we're not looking for Dancing with the Stars here. We're not going to be spinning each other around and throwing each other in the air. It'll be basically some basic instruction, and then we'll have a little bit of fun. And remember, guys, it's blue jeans. I just decided this year I'd had it with the rubber chicken dinners. You can only have so many of those. So let's do something different. I had lunch with Michelle early this year and said, we talked about it, and we were she says, yeah, I'll help you. And I went, okay, good. I said, I don't want to do the same old stuff. Let's do something different. She's like, I'm in. Okay.
Yeah. So we're going to have a full on pig. We're going to have chicken, all the fixins, dessert, charcuterie board, grazing board, beer and wine, everything's included. Great conversation, fun dancing.
Yep.
You get to hear some of the candidates up front and close. You get to ask them any questions you want. So it's going to be a good networking if that's what you
you'll get
too.
to. We'll be having spots for any of the candidates. Especially, I know a lot of us are delegates, and especially for the Secretary of State and Attorney General candidates, they're all going to be there, from what I understand. So this is a great opportunity to get to know them. I know. I had last week I had Amanda Love on. She will be there, and she sponsored a couple of veterans tickets. Then today then next week we have Monica Yatuma, who bought a ticket and sponsored a couple of veterans tickets. And then we have on the 21st, we have gubernatorial candidate Mike Cox coming to the podcast. It's next week is Monica Yatuma here, and then we have Mike Cox. And then the 28th, we have Anthony Ferlini, who's he's the most recent Secretary of State candidate that just filed. I believe he's the Macomb County clerk. So maybe a township clerk in Macomb County. I thought he was a county clerk, but maybe not. But he is a clerk in Macomb County. Whether he's the clerk or not, I don't know. So, but he's as a former legislator, so he's got a lot of experience. So he'll be here on the 28th.
So see, we have a lot of good candidates we have to support.
And you have to meet them. And this Reagan Day event is the best way to do that. So, and then you guys can all give me your thoughts and give me your questions and stuff. So we'll when we have them on the podcast, we can ask them.
And it's definitely a different feeling when they're in person.
Yes.
Right? You're not listening to them talk at you through the screen. You're asking them a question that may be important to you. So I would encourage everybody to come. It's going to be a great time. It really is.
It is. It's going to
and you're going to leave
be a blast.
Happy that you
happy
went.
And full and
happy and full and looking forward to next year's one. Yeah.
It will. I would love to do something like this annually. I mean, you have the big Lincoln Day dinner, and it's Crystal Garden, and it's fancy, and we all buy the dress and yada yada, and it's all great. But this one,
tennis shoes, jeans, whatever you
cowboy
want,
boots,
whatever
cowboy
you
hats.
Want.
If you got
Come
cowboy
American.
gear, if you got cowboy Western gear, wear it.
Yep.
We're looking. I want to see somebody with a bolo. I'll give a prize to somebody with a bolo.
But don't mistake, it's going to be a nice party.
Yes, it will be nice.
Yes.
It'll be nice and good food, and we have a couple of volunteer bartenders that will be working for tips.
So gratuitous bartenders. So they're outgoing and friendly, and this caller's going to be great. So we're going to have a really great night.
We'd love to see you there.
Yes. So go one more time. Go here. Find the flyer. LivingstonRepublicans.com. Find the flyer. If you're able to, or if you're unable to go, or if you're able to go and you can, sponsor a couple of veterans, sponsor a couple youth. I think we have a nice, good couple of tables of youth now. So I could, we have more that could go if people want to sponsor it, also veterans. So, I think that anything else we want to say about, the bucket drawing. We didn't say anything about the bucket drawing. Mary Beth would have shot both of us. So at the dinner, we have a bucket drawing. So we're going to have prizes, baskets, etc. And we're going to have them out, and we're going to have buckets, and people buy put their little tickets in the buckets, and then we'll draw. So you want the booze bucket, but you don't want the dog, you don't want the doggy treat bucket, or the other way around. That's fine. So you just put your tickets in the buckets you want, and then we'll draw, and you win. We'll give that winner. So we have several
more opportunities.
We have several good. I know Jay and I cleaned out our liquor cabinet, and we have a big basket.
We've got a local jewelry store that's donated.
Nice.
We've got real estate agency. So we've got some really good prizes that you're going to have an opportunity to get.
Yeah, I think ours is going to be called New Year's Basket or something, because it's got a nice array. So
and then if you can't come, you can't donate. You donate a basket if you can.
Yes.
Just contact Deb or Livingston.
Yep. You can write. You can email me at Livingston right here. LivingstonRepublicans.com. chair@LivingstonRepublicans.com. And
donate a basket. And then the good news about that is if you have a business and you put something in the basket, you get free advertising all night long, because everybody's got to look at it.
And it's a write-off because it's advertising, right? So here we go. There's my email. Yep. And feel free to shoot me an email and tell me, if you have questions or whatever, you can. Just a reminder, tomorrow night is our very last line dance lesson. We gotta
get there.
I know. We have 8 dances, and no, that's right. We reteach them every week. So, and I suggest, here's what I tell people: if you're coming in kind of late, it's okay. Stick your phone over there in the corner and aim it at our feet. And record it. Just record the lessons.
I gotta get there.
Yeah, even if you learn 2 or 3 of them, I mean, it'll be that fun.
I have 2 left feet though. That's my fear. I really have 2 left feet. I can't follow direction. I'll probably be doing the opposite and hit you or something by accident. You, me, and everybody else there. I mean, there's nobody on that. No, I mean, we have the same people that have been coming now for weeks, and not one of us are Dancing with the Stars worthy. So but we have fun. We have a blast. Honest to God, Elizabeth Bonner, I don't know if you're watching or this, but I'll tell you something. She makes me laugh so hard. We have so much fun. And we go there so the line dancing starts at 7. It's free. Just come. And then a lot of times I go there at 6, and Elizabeth goes there, and sometimes Luann goes there. Oh yeah, because then you're supporting them
at 6 o'clock. Yes, we go there and they have phenomenal cheeseburgers and fries. So we always go there and get a cheeseburger before we start. So it is so much fun. We laugh. We have a good time. You learn to dance. You get a little exercise. I know the next morning after I'm doing these dances, I get up and I run to the scale.
Right.
I'm down another pound or 2. So that is exciting. So anyway, but come and have, here, I got to tell you something I'm so excited about. I'm looking as these reservations come in, and I am absolutely shocked, but it's pleasantly shocked at the names I do not recognize buying tickets. That means people are seeing what we're doing and they're jumping in. And that is absolutely a blast because, we got what we call our party faithful that we know are going to come to everything we do. And that's great. And we love them, and I wouldn't trade them for anything. But it's always great to see new names come in. So we have a bunch of new people that I don't recognize their names coming. So I'm excited.
A lot of new friends.
Not a new friends. Curtis thinks we make a great team. Very entertaining.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks. Well, she's great to work with. I have.
So are you.
I've enjoyed teaming up with this, and
while I will not miss, giving up all this time to put into this or the stress or anything else, I will miss work. We'll have to think of something else to do because I miss work.
Sure.
Yes,
right away.
Yeah, she needs
Right away.
she needs 6 months off next year. Yeah,
But I do want to say one more thing.
Sure.
When good men do nothing, that's when things don't change.
That's right.
Right. And we need to change Michigan. We need to support good people. It really is a call to everyone. Not only are we're going to have fun, we're going to eat, we're going to do this, but you're really supporting getting good conservative candidates in the office because we know Michigan's a mess. It's a mess. And we know why it's a mess because of the Democrats.
Yep.
And we have to get them out. And they're going to go hard after us. And if we don't get people on board, we're going to be hurting. So
in
please
Livingston
join
County,
us.
you heard Eric earlier, or I gotta say not say Eric, Senator Nesbitt say earlier that shame on me. So you say that we're the battleground. We're the number one contender. Chairman Runstead said that to us in a chairs call, monthly chairs call. He says they're all coming
Can
after
you imagine
Michigan.
if we let Trump down?
Oh,
I mean,
my
after
God.
all the
I
fighting
know,
he's
I know,
done,
I know.
everything he's
I
done
know,
in Michigan, we
I
just
know.
sit and do nothing.
No.
And
so,
I can tell you that, being in automotive, there's a lot of things. It's not just, it's not just like the surfacey stuff, what is it, green new scam,
That's
all
right,
that stuff
that's
that
right.
we're doing. Automotive, people didn't know this, but a lot of the automotive white collar jobs are overseas now. I'm on conference calls with South Korea, with China, with, Europe, everywhere else but here. India's got a lot of the white collar jobs over there. So we've been gutted. We have been gutted and it's been on our watch. So shame on us, right?
Yes. And and it's just like Michigan being this battleground. And the other thing that Eric said was that we are a hub. I mean, Livingston County, it's vital for us to have our stuff ready because we negate all. Think about what's around us. We have to the south, we have Washtenaw County. That's like when you say go blue over there, it's not U of M we're talking about.
Right.
We're saying there's go the blue. They are serious blue there. You got Oakland County, which is a little bit of a mixed bag of tricks, and then you got Genesee County to the north of us that's seriously blue, and then you got Ingham to the west.
We're
surrounded.
Yeah.
We're this red pocket in the sea of blue. So last year we were able to just really work. People came together and we got 80% vote. That's why we did so good in Michigan. We negate all that crap going around us. So we really need you to come out. But for us to get 80% of the vote, that took a lot of money. It took money. I mean,
it's difficult if there's only a few people that do it.
Yeah.
But the more people that do it, the easier it is for everyone, right?
Yes.
Because I remember door knocking when I was running for school board.
Yep.
And I gotta tell you, I mean, it's anxiety every time you go up to the door and knock. But we live in the most conservative area, in Michigan, really.
I know.
And so it should be very easy for all of us here.
And even if you don't door knock,
get to know
for
us.
us, it's like, we create postcards that tell people why you should vote for X, why you should vote for Brian, why you should vote for this, why you should vote for Tom Barrett. We put these things, we buy bags, so, and literature that we can stuff in this. So we have these door knockers that go knocking, whether you're a door knocker or not. The money that comes in, it's like expensive. The mailing, the postage, all that stuff.
We were so fortunate because the Republican Party did a mailing for us when I was running for school board, and that really helped because we didn't have the money to do it.
Yep, we did one last year too, and we did one for the township.
Yep,
member,
That's
all
a
the
big
members.
deal.
It was huge. So, and we did a special, for the real targeted areas, we did special mailings. That stuff is expensive. So whatever you can do to help out, please do. But like I said, you can donate, that's great, but you can also donate by coming to a party. That's another great thing. So all right, and we have Curtis saying the new military industrial complex is coming into the Detroit area. Is that a good thing, Curtis?
Yeah, is that a good thing? I don't know.
I
hadn't
see
heard
vote
of that.
Curtis Clark. Well, vote? All right, Curtis, we don't know anything. What are we voting for you for? Don't. So all right, now you got us curious. What do you? Come on, start typing. What are we voting for you for? What are you running for? I got Tyler over here, and he suddenly went down to his phone. So before Curtis types, he's gonna tell me. He's got one of those lightning thumbs, So.
All right. Well, I think we've done enough begging for the party.
No, I'm gonna find out Well, I want to find out what the military-industrial complex is, and I also want to find out what Curtis Clark is running for.
Well, I wonder. That doesn't sound very good. I wouldn't think.
I don't know. It could be military. I mean, I don't. Outreach chair.
I am Congress.
Oh, that might have been before, right? Oh, you ran for Congress in 224. Okay, so that's an old picture. Okay, so what is the military-industrial complex? Is that good? Is that a good thing to come to Detroit? I would think to Detroit area would be good, but maybe I'm wrong. Tell me, yes or no. Thumbs up, thumbs down. I don't know anything about a military-industrial complex. I would think in Detroit that would be good, though. That'd be a lot of jobs, wouldn't it?
I don't know, because I've always thought that was a negative thing.
I don't
the
know.
Industrial complex, which
yeah, well, but in Detroit, in a place that people need jobs,
Yeah.
maybe not so bad.
Right.
I mean, I wouldn't want it. I wouldn't want it behind our high school. Here,
I saw somebody posted something about the crime rate. So what's his name? We don't want to speak his name. That's running for governor, the mayor over there.
Oh yeah.
He's saying that crime has dropped, but really what's dropped is the population.
Okay.
So
yeah.
by default, crime
Yeah,
drops because
yeah.
the population has dropped.
Okay. All right. Well, this is what we've done. Show up tomorrow at 6:00 at the American Legion for our last dancing lesson. It doesn't matter if you come to any of them. You'll learn.
I'm
some
going to try to be
dances.
there, and I'm
Good.
busy too. Yeah.
Good.
And buy tickets.
Good. Yes. Buy
Come
a
see
ticket.
us.
Go to that. Go
Come
to
party with
that.
us.
Go to where is it?
Yeah, come party with us. It'll be fun.
Yes. Make sure. Go here and buy a ticket, buy a membership, have a good time. We
Come by yourself. It doesn't
yeah,
matter.
Yeah.
That's the good news about this is because
Yeah.
there is line
Yep.
dancing and all
Square
that
dancing.
square
and
dancing.
We'll partner you up. We got
Doesn't
all kinds
matter.
of. We got all kinds
There's
of solos
no,
coming.
yeah, like the
Yeah,
seating's
what's,
open.
What's it? And you're going stag.
Yeah,
you
go
can go
stag.
stag.
So don't worry. Come by yourself.
Yeah, come by yourself, and we'll
Meet some friends.
Yeah, meet some friends. We'll put you at a table with some people that also came by themselves,
Mhm.
or you find, or maybe a candidate. We'll put you by a candidate or whatever. So anyway, we're looking forward to seeing you tomorrow, 6:00 for a cheeseburger or 7:00 for dancing, and then
next
Wednesday.
Next Wednesday.
So, all right. Have a good night, guys. Thanks for
Have a
coming.
blessed day.